Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about, just continue my series of videos on visa issues. In this playlist, in my visa playlist, I have the main video. The first video is about 12 minutes long, and I talk about the tourist visa options to have a long stay in Thailand. And it's a tourist visa, and I talk about border runs as well. You're allowed 2 border runs. A border run is when you leave Thailand by land and come back through a land border into Thailand, and you get your 30-day visa exemption. You're only allowed 2 of those. I don't want to rehash the issues in this video, but I talk about that in that first video. 2 border runs a year. Outside of that, you'll either need to leave Thailand and fly back through the airport, or get 60-day tourist visas. Okay, but you're only allowed 2 border runs. But between border runs, flying into Thailand, and getting 60-day tourist visas, you can extend a long stay in Thailand. How long? I don't know. That's the point that I made. I'm stretching it a bit at the moment. The last time I came through the border of Cambodia, the immigration officer had a long, hard look at my passport, so I'm getting a bit nervous about going through. But how long you can do it for is a question mark. But I'm talking about border runs here, and this is just an option. Now what I'm doing is taking a bus. First of all, what I want to say is, in the first video I talked about there's a visa company in Bangkok that charges 2,600 baht to do a border run to Cambodia. Now at the end of the day, that's actually not a bad offer, because I thought maybe that's an overpriced rip-off, they're making a big profit, maybe I can do it cheaper myself. I can do it cheaper myself, which is this video, but this video isn't so much about, hey, that's a rip-off, do it yourself. That's still a good option, which I'll talk about in the summary, but this is just, I went there myself, and this is what happened. I caught a bus from the Morchit Northern Bus Terminal, and basically you go to Aranya Bratet. Aranya Bratet is the border town, the Thai border town with Cambodia. Poi Phet is the Cambodian town on the Cambodian side. Now, what happens is, the bus cost me 406 baht both ways, 203 one way, 406 both ways. The visa costs around 1,000 Thai baht. That's $30 US for the visa. Have US dollars when you go there. Get paying you. That's crucial. Take US dollars with you. I'll explain why I got caught out, but I'll get to that. So it's about 1,000 Thai baht, give or take the exchange rate. Now, I've budgeted 100 baht for a bus or tuk-tuk from the bus stop to the border crossing. You can walk that distance, which I'll talk about in a second. You can probably walk that distance and save that 100 baht. But, you know, the bus costs 10 baht. It cost me 100 baht from Aranya Bratet to the border, because I actually made a mistake the first time I went. I got off on the second last stop, which was a mistake, and it cost me 100 baht to get to the border via a tuk-tuk. Okay, so from the actual stop, the last stop, which I'll talk about and explain that, it might be 50 or something, I'm not sure, but you can probably walk that distance. Okay, and I also threw in a 50 baht tip, which I'll explain what that is. The total was 1,556, round up to 1,600, 1,500 approximately if you walk the bus to the border, or if you take a 10 baht bus. 1,500 to 1,600. So you can see how you are saving 1,000 baht potentially on that company. Okay, you do get a free breakfast at the casino if you take that option with that company, so that's pretty good. You go in there, they take your passport to get the visa, and you get a free breakfast. That's a pretty good option. Now, I'll just talk a bit more about this. What you got to do is be careful about the last stop as well. If you take a bus, Aranya Bratet was the second last stop, and that's the mistake I made. You've got to go through and have Google Maps, because if you have Google Maps, you'll know exactly where you are. And the last stop on Google Maps, if you enlarge the map, it's actually called municipal to food market. The first thing you'll see on Google Maps is customs office. Then if you keep enlarging, it'll say municipal to food market. So from there, like I said, it looks like a walking distance. I'll probably take a tuk-tuk when I go to the border just to get my business done, but on the way back I'll probably walk. So there's the price, and there is 1,000 baht saving there. As I said, you can walk from that bus stop or a 10 baht bus to the Golden Gate Plaza Market. You'll see that on Google Maps. Or a tuk-tuk to the border. Not sure how much that costs, but between 10 and 100, around 50, 40, 50, 60, around thereabouts. Okay, a couple of things about that. What I'll quickly do, if you permit me, is show you a quick map here, if you can see that map. I'm not sure if you can see that properly, but you'll see it on Google Maps just to show you. Aranya is a town actually away from the border. That's why it cost me 100 baht on a tuk-tuk to get to the border crossing. There's the border, that blue line, Cambodia, Thailand. The black is the main highway going through. So you have to go, make sure you go to the last stop, which is there. Municipal to food market is what it's called on Google Maps. And then from there you can walk the tuk-tuk around 40, 50 baht, I'm not sure, I'll find out next time, or a 10 baht bus to the Golden Gate Plaza Market, which is right near the border as well. There's the border crossing, okay. By the way, while I've got the map here, if you stay in Cambodia one night or more to get a visa or just to help the immigration process, because I think it's good to stay out of Thailand, one night's probably not enough. I talked about that in the first video because the immigration officers may get suspicious of you coming straight back. So look, I stayed in Cambodia. There's a hotel around there. Now, motorcycle taxis in Cambodia will rip you off. They're going to charge 100 baht to get from the border crossing to that hotel on the main road. Next time I'm just going to walk. That's walkable. So if that's walkable, that short distance sure is. I'm going to walk to the hotel and walk back next time and save that 100 baht trip both ways. So anyway, that's just a quick map which you'll see on Google Maps, just so you know the names and you can keep track of where you are to get off the right bus stop. Couple of things about this. Have your $30 for the Cambodian visa. That's how much it costs. If you stay in Cambodia, obviously have more US dollars because the hotel and restaurants take US dollars. All the menus and prices are in US dollars. You can pay by Thai baht, but they're going to rip you off. They're going to work out the exchange rate, and the chances are you're going to be overcharged Thai baht. So have US dollars. Have a passport size photo for your visa application form. Now, what happened to me is I was scammed a bit. I'll explain this. I paid actually 1,500 baht for my visa. Like I said, $30 is about 1,000 Thai baht. And so I paid around 2,100 all up, which was still 500 cheaper than that company in Bangkok. So I still saved money. It was still cheaper than taking the company. But the 1,500 baht visa, be careful about it. It wasn't a scam, but when you get to the border, you're going to have all these louts come at you. You have people come at you and offer their services. Now, I did take one of their services. The fellow took me through and charged me 1,500 baht. Now, that was overcharged, but because it was my first time going there, it was actually okay. I can accept that because it was a pretty good service. He helped me, went through very quickly and got the visa, and I think it must have been some backdoor deal. He must have had a backdoor deal with the Cambodian police to give me it was a proper visa through the Cambodian police, but the fellow from Thailand must have got a kickback, and the Cambodian policeman must have got a kickback as well from that 1,500. So that was a bit of a scam to get the visa, but the first time it was okay. The second time I go, if I do this again, I'm going to go myself again. So I've learned my mistakes, the bus stop and so forth. I'm going to have $30. Now, if that fellow at the border won't accept $30 and insists on charging 1,500, then I'm going to say no, thank you, because there must be an office near the Cambodian crossing where you get the visa from. I'm not sure where it is, but because you have to get your visa first and then get a stamp. It's like a two-step process. So I'm assuming once you go through, you get your visa from one window and then go through and get stamped. Okay, so, but if he accepts $30 US, then I'll take his services again. And I gave him a 50 baht tip. That's what the 50 baht tip there is. I was happy to give him a 50 baht tip as well because it was helpful. He did go through just 10 minutes he filled out my application form and everything. Have your passport size photo. So next time I'm either going to do it myself if he charges that much, which is a scam. But if he takes $30 because the visa is $30, then I'll use his services again because it was quite handy. And I'll tip again. I'll tip 50 baht, maybe even more. I mean, I'm not sure whether 50 baht was stingy or too much. But if I'm going to save that 1,000 baht, and especially not pay the 1,500, pay the $30, which is 1,000 baht, I'll be happy to pay a 50 baht tip, maybe even more, maybe even a 100 baht tip might be reasonable if you go smoothly through and pay $30. So there it is, a few more points about the time. As I said, if you're going to stay in Cambodia, have US dollars for the price. They want US dollars in Cambodia, and the motorcycle taxis are a rip-off. I'm going to walk to the hotel, like I said, and not take 100 baht. 100 baht for that motorcycle taxi to the hotel in Cambodia was a total rip-off. Returning to Bangkok, if you do this in one day, you want to leave Bangkok early, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then time a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours to go through to do your visa, going through the checkpoints and so forth, and have a return late in the afternoon. I'm not sure what time the buses are, but obviously you want to have enough time. Now, I paid for a return ticket, but I'm sure you can just rock up to that bus stop at the Municipal 2 Food Market, the last stop there near the border, like I showed you on the map. Just about there is a bus stop, just up from the border. And I'm sure you can just buy a ticket. There were about 2 or 3 people on the bus when I came back to Bangkok, so I'm sure you could just buy a ticket. But I bought a return from Morchit bus terminal, the northern bus terminal here in Bangkok. One last thing I want to say to wrap up is that price for the visa company, 2,600 baht, is actually a pretty good price, especially for the convenience. Now, if you can't speak Thai, if you can't book buses and buy bus tickets and so forth, it was a bit complicated. That's a good option for you, very handy. You go in their own van to the border, they do everything, they do the visa, you give them the passport. That price includes 1,000 baht for the visa. That's why it's a fairly not a bad price, 2,600, and it's very, very convenient. But if you can do it yourself and get a bus ticket, take a bus and so forth, if you can speak Thai and so forth, know what you're doing, then you can do it and potentially save 1,000 baht. Okay, but for the beginner or a non-Thai speaker and the average tourist or expat in Bangkok, the company charging 2,600 baht isn't actually that bad. So there it is. I think I've covered all my points about a border run, doing it yourself. I'm not saying it's better than the company, it's just another option. That company is not too bad because it's so convenient. So there it is. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.